guys, this is Shannon with the Diet Doc San Francisco, and we're going to do another 5-meal prep for lunches or for dinners for you for the week. This little recipe should provide 5 meals for you with about 20 grams of protein per meal, around 35 to 38 grams of carbs, and around 5 grams of fat per meal, which is pretty awesome. We're going to do linguine today with canned tuna, actually, and then a whole bunch of other awesome things are going to be in it. So I'll show you what we're going to do now. So you'll need 2 whole onions, 5 cans of tuna. I like the ones that don't have salt or oil added. That's my preference. Fresh bunches of asparagus. We got 2 big bunches. Oranges. We're actually going to zest the orange, and then that's going to go into the recipe. 5 garlic cloves, and I will show you how to open them in a really easy way so you're not sitting there going, why can I not open this garlic clove? Capers, raisins. I got them out of the bulk section. You can use more or less. It's going to add a little bit of sweetness and flavor to the recipe. Some amazing pasta by Cipriani. We have a little flat leaf parsley. So here we go. All right, so we're gonna fill up this wide skillet pan. This is about 12 inches thick, and we're gonna fill this guy up. All right, we're gonna salt the water so that the pasta doesn't stick together, and we are gonna put it on high and bring it to a boil. All right, so we're gonna zest through the whole orange, and we have 2 of these guys to get through, so you might grab a buddy and have them zest for you here. Side note, this might get in your eye, so you want to zest away from the face. Okay, so once you've already zested, we're going to take off all the white peel, the bitter white peel from the orange. We'll take all of it off. And then we're gonna cut it into bite-sized pieces and place it all over here with the orange zest and the rest of the pieces of orange. And this is all gonna go into the pan. So now we've got the orange zest all done, and then we're gonna put the pasta into the big pan. We're only gonna cook it in here for about 3 minutes. And then we're gonna take it out, save some of the water from the pasta and what we've cooked in it, and then we're gonna cook the entire sauce, like the tuna, the vegetables, the onions, asparagus, everything's gonna go back into this pan, and that's how we're gonna make the sauce. So we are gonna cut and dice all the garlic right now, the onion and the asparagus. And while the pasta's cooking, it's only 3 minutes, so I won't have a ton of time. So I'll then drain the pasta and figure that out. But right now I want to show you how to cook some of these things or cut them. So with the garlic, the easiest way that I've found is to cut off each end. To take a knife, place your hand over the top of it, and it smushes it down, and then the outside of it peels right off, and it makes it super easy. So you're not sitting there trying to freaking get your little wrapper off of the garlic. I'm gonna come into asparagus. All you gotta do with asparagus is just snap it, and that's where the really kind of stringy part of the asparagus is. If you've ever eaten asparagus and it kind of gets stuck in your teeth, almost like celery, and you're like, what was that? It's the end of the asparagus that snaps off when you break it just like this. You don't need that part. And then I wanted to show you easy ways to cut onions. So you can cut off either end. I'll cut it right down the middle. I will take off the outside tougher skin. And then I will make little cuts that run along each side here. Making sure not to cut the very end. And then check it out, this part's amazing. Ta-da! And it's all these little perfectly diced sections of the onion, and it's already done for you. You don't need to sit there trying to cut little perfect pieces because it's already happening. So we're gonna take 1/4 of the cup of the water that the pasta was cooked in, and I'm going to keep it. I'm gonna keep it in a little side cup. And then I'm gonna take this guy, pick it up, and pour it into a colander, drain it out. Oh yes. And then I'm immediately going to put some cold water on the pasta to stop it from cooking. Okay, so we have removed the pasta from the pan, and now we're going to bring everything back to the pan again. We're going to put 1/4 of a cup of olive oil into the pan, and we'll be back in an hour. So we're going to pour the whole 1/4 cup of olive oil into the pan, and we definitely want to hear that sound. That sound means good things. So we are transferring the onion, asparagus that's cut very small, and then the garlic into this bowl so that I will be able to get it all the way over to the pan. And then all of this is going inside. So all of this is going into the pan. So we want the onion to be a little bit translucent, and make sure that the asparagus is cooked so it is al dente or slightly firm, but you can tell it's starting to cook a little bit. So you are going to put the capers into a little strainer and rinse them out. And we are going to use a full small container of capers for 5 servings. So you can just put them all out, get them dried up, and then while that's happening, we're gonna come over and start cutting about 1/2 cup of flat leaf parsley. I'm gonna cut it up finely, and then we are going to put that into the sauce that's about to begin. So I'm gonna open up each can of tuna and actually rinse it out. And how I rinse it out is I hold the top over the top of it, shake it around a little bit, and then just drain it like so. All right, so we're just gonna finely chop all of the flat leaf parsley. Make sure not to cut your fingers off. That part's important. And this is about maybe 1/2 cup. It actually only calls for about 8 tablespoons, but I'd say just do it to your liking. If you're a parsley lover, then you can add more. If not, just have a little bit less. So I've tossed all of the tuna out of the can into this bowl, and then I'm just kind of separating it here before I transfer it into the big bowl. And since I'm already over here, I'm going to take all of this parsley and mix it in, and then we're going to bring the whole thing and add it to all of our other ingredients. You can see that the onions are nice and translucent. It looks like the asparagus is also just slightly cooked. It's not overdone. So we will transfer all of this. We are going to add our drained capers, our raisins, and you can add more or less raisins depending on how much of a sweet tooth you have. This beautiful plate of the orange zest and the orange sectional slices. So all of this goes into the pan, and we are going to mix it together and keep it cooking for another 3 minutes or so, and then we'll add the pasta, and then we are done. Okay, so I'm going to weigh about 4 ounces of the pasta, the cooked pasta, per container. If you want to add more protein to some of these, you can add a little bit of extra tuna, like just throw another can of tuna in there. If you want a little bit less carb, just don't have as much pasta. We have 2 different sizes going on. We have one that's going to have a little bit more protein added to it, and the other one that's just going to have about 20 grams and about 3 ounces of pasta. So depending on who you're making food for, you can kind of mix and match accordingly to what your macro goals are. Okay, so this won't be 100% accurate because we have the tuna mixed in with everything else. So I'm gonna estimate about 7 ounces of this mixture in with the pasta. And because the mixture is so heavy with water, it's gonna be pretty heavy when you weigh it out. That's 4 ounces right there. And that is 7.5. And that looks like a pretty good amount there. That is a awesome dinner or lunch. And today I thought we were gonna only make 5, but in fact we made 6. We made 6 meals, and we actually, in reality, had extra to eat right now. So it was about 20 grams of protein, about 35 to 40 grams of carbs, depending on how many vegetables you use. Because we used asparagus, we had quite a lot of volume, which will make you feel fuller. Asparagus has a lot of water content, as do onions and oranges. So you're gonna feel like this meal is fairly filling, but the reality is the calorie content is pretty low. So the whole meal, each meal, as we weighed it out, is about 350 calories or so. So anyways, this is a really light variation for lunches. Can also be for dinner. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. This is Shannon, and this is the Diet Doc San Francisco.